All right, good evening, folks, and welcome to the Let's Go Fishing Show. And as you can see, I've got a special guest here tonight.
Buddy, I'm tickled to death to be back here.
I'm tickled to death for you to be back, Bill. Mike is out there, and I think he's in the kitchenette out there fixing him something to eat or whatever, and we'll have him in here in a minute.
He had to work late. He hadn't eaten yet.
That's exactly right. And folks, we got Gabe brought Bill down to be on the show with us, and we're so glad of that. And want to. And we got Wesley. He's in the background over there. He came over with me, so he wanted to see Bill, and so we're right on time, and everything's working good. Want to say hello to Dad and to Polly for sure, Bill.
Yes, sir, both of them.
Yes, sir, and all the folks up in Campbell County that watches the show. Speaking of that, this coming Saturday, from Safe Light till 3 o'clock at Anderson County Park, they're having a fishing tournament for all of the North Crab boat owners. They do one in the spring and they do one in the fall, and this coming Saturday, which is the 21st, be there at Anderson County Park.
Yes, sir.
And
we've been there. We've been there with them.
Yes,
son.
Sir. We sure have.
It's really a good tournament. It's really something good that old Mike Crumley has come up with.
Yes, sir.
And I appreciate old Mike and his son and his wife doing this.
Yes, sir, Bill. That's exactly right. So last year we didn't get to stay. They had hot dogs and hamburgers cooking up there, but we had to get back. I don't remember
I can't remember what it was either.
But we had to get back right quick. I think it's something I had to do, and so we had to leave them. But Mac, I know he's probably watching, and I told him. We've been doing that renovation there at the church, and they're finished, and we're going to try to move in this weekend, get back in the church, and so I told Mac, I said, if they mess up and don't get finised, I'll be there. But if not, you'll know where I'm at. And,
yes, sir.
So,
that's exactly right.
It's good to get to talk to him this week on the phone, and
I may just try to go up there and be with the crowd.
That'd be a good thing, Bill. It surely would. But anyway, folks, they'll be there Saturday morning from Safe Light to 3 o'clock. It'll be the way in, and we wish them all the luck in the world on that, and have a good turnout. Then
let me mention one thing that you've already told me about the new road going into Point 19.
Yes, sir.
But I'm telling you the truth. I think it wasn't a mile. We liked it was like 7 or 8 tenths or something like that.
It was,
but I'm thinking about going up there and walking every bit of that. You said it was already striped and everything.
Yes, sir. Got the yellow and white lines on it. It looks like a super highway through there.
I hope they don't try to make it that.
I do too. It really is nice. I can't, like we said the other week, I can't thank those folks up in Anderson County Commissioner or whatever, and Road Commissioner, and they got that done for us. We really appreciate it. I mean,
well, it helped them, and it helped the whole the Point 19 park out there, son.
Sure
it really did.
Yes, sir.
There's more people using that than people think they are.
Yeah, buddy. It's like it never slacks up. They got those facilities in there now. The bike trails for the bike riders.
Yes, sir.
And now this time, when you go up there now, there's usually 4 or 5 vehicles. It's a hunting deer hunters and the coon hunters and using that road, and the people in the campground using it,
right.
and the fishermen using it. And I mean, it's a little busy stretch of road.
That's exactly right. But I'm not got to see it, so I'm anxious to see it.
Yes, sir. It sure looks good.
That's great.
I mean, it does, and man, it's just smooth. I'm telling you, it's great, and we are real appreciative of whoever's involved in getting that done. We surely are. Okay, another thing I need to mention here, next week's show, next Thursday night, we'll be on at 7 o'clock. We're working with the Oak Ridge athletic department over here, Boosters Club or whatever. They're having an auction here next Thursday night at 8 o'clock, and so they asked if we'd move our show up an hour, and I told them sure.
We always want to work with the athletic department here in Oak Ridge. I know about it. I've been connected to it for a long time.
Yeah.
And they got a real facilities here in Oak Ridge, and it'd be to our advantage to work with them.
Agreed, Bill. So I tell Brad texted me and there Tuesday, I think it was, and I said, "Why, sure, we'll no problem.
Yes, sir.
That'd be no problem. We can get here an hour earlier than what we normally do, and hopefully anyway. But our show will be on next week at 7 o'clock, and then the following week we'll be back on at regular time. So that'll get that all cleared up. Let's see. There was another announcement I wanted to make. Listen, folks. We got a lady here that's battling cancer and breast cancer, and they're having a benefit tournament for her on Watts Bar November the 4th. Safe flight till 3:30 p.m. at Ladd Landing in Kingston. It's a $50 entry fee, rain or shine. 3 fish limit, 50% payback, $10 optional big fish, and with 100% payback. And they're selling box lunches. They're trying to raise money for this lady to help pay for her treatment expenses. And honestly, she is attends the church there at Kellytown, and it's Kim Wilson Poach, and we want to support her every way that we can. So I told them they get me a flyer, and we definitely announce it over here. Rules: largemouth 15 inches and the smallmouth 18 naturally, and you can. We're going to post that flyer. Dylan, will you put that up? And then I also want to mention this later on in the show too. It says, for more information, contact Kelly, James, and Jonathan. We got 3 or 4 numbers down there. One of them is 919-6660 for Kelly, and then James is 335-2530. Call me. I'll give you all the information anytime that you think you want to get in. That's on November the 4th. That'll be coming up here in a few weeks, and we'll go from there. But I do want to I'll remind people about that again a little bit later on in the show towards the end there, because I'd like to have a good turnout for that. And it's rain or shine. You know how us fishermen are, Bill.
Right.
Hey, just because it's raining, that don't mean them fish.
I'm not like Billy Westmoreland. He said, old Billy always told me, said, I don't like to fish in rain. Said that rain hurts them fish's eyes.
I heard that. I tell you what. Sometimes I wonder. I think every now and then they welcome a little rain every now and then. Sure do. As far as film we got tonight, folks, didn't get to make any this last weekend after the show. Hadn't been on the water till last night. Wesley and I took off after church. I had missed work today for some other reasons, so I've got 4 or 5 hours up there last night, and we only got 2 fish in the boat, Bill. It was horrible.
It's slow right now.
It is slow.
But you have to keep up with the fish right now.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
They can be 2 foot deep or 15 foot deep. You never know.
Right.
So a man's got to work hard right now after him.
He sure does. Dylan, get some of that film ready, and we'll show a little of it, and then we'll come back to us. Maybe Mike will be in here with us. He's got some things he wants to show. All righty. But yeah, anyway, Bill, I'll tell you what, the fish were right on the bank.
Yeah,
that's
the reason I say you have to really be careful this time of year. You can overfish them or underfish them.
That's exactly right. Weekend 4 laced up there. They seem to be in that 8 to 15 foot range, and now they're even in there. 4
or 5 or 2 foot.
Exactly right. They sure are. We fished, set the boat in a lot of 20, 22 foot of water, throwing in towards the bank, and couldn't get a bite, and finally there. And another thing that hampered us last night too, we didn't get up there till probably 9:30.
Yeah, it's never been 9:30 when you called me.
And the fog was coming up off the water.
Yeah.
The wind was blowing, But now, before we left, about 12, 1 o'clock, that fog you could see it had risen up, and the temperature warmed up, so the fog went up, and the banks cleared off, and actually that's when we started getting our bites.
Yeah,
it sure was. But we'll know what to do if we get to go back before the next show, hopefully. And actually, I'm going to try to make a trip. Chance to get down to Watts Bar during the day. I know them stripes. They say the minnows and fish are breaking all over the channel out there, and so we're going to check them out and see if we can get them stripe breaks, and because they're going to start feeding up for the winter, Bill.
That's right. That's right. Hey, that's what this year's time is coming to, son.
That's right.
Hey, them fish knows this winters are coming on, and what they got to do is to store that fat to make it through.
That's exactly right. All right, Dylan, take us to the film, and we'll see what we can come up with. All right, folks. It didn't take Mike long to get that one right there now.
Yes, sir.
That's another nice fish, Mike. Good fish. All right, put him back in the water.
See, you got one on here.
Oh, yeah. All right, Mike.
Well, I don't think he's got a green spinnerbait in his mouth. So.
He sure don't. I was hoping he did have.
Yeah.
Sure did. I was hoping he did.
I think he was a little bigger than that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, right. That's a nice one.
Okay, I'll get him back in the water.
Okay. All right, folks. I didn't get time to get the camera out on that one before I had to net him, so.
Yeah. He struck here at the boat, Mike.
Yeah, no kidding.
When I dropped that jig back, he had it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, come out there, buddy. A little better fish. There we go. A little bit of skin there. A little better fish, Mike.
Yeah, a little better fish.
All right, there he goes.
Okay. See if we can get another.
Let's get another. That's number 3.
Or brown and orange mix there.
Brown, green.
And a little copper in it.
Copper in it, yeah.
We get after him, see what we can do with him. All right, let's see what he's got here.
Here he comes, Mike.
So he's coming.
He's coming.
Yeah. Oh. He's running everywhere but in the net.
There you go.
No, I ain't the net.
Here comes one going right over. He finally turned off our limb.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Good. I don't know what this fella was looking at. He couldn't see them front running. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, buddy. He's a nice
Get a
one.
picture of him.
Just a second, I will. Yeah.
Back in the water.
That's all I can see. That fella, evidently he's blind or something. He couldn't see her lights or something. Got to run over. All right, Steve, found him another one. Nice smallie.
Well, Mike, you awful weak on that audio there. Yeah, heck, we missed 4 or 5
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I can't help if you keep letting them get off.
Yeah, I believe it's my net man's missing.
You think so?
Yeah, I believe it is.
I don't know.
Blame it, he throwed my chunk off.
Throwed your chunk off.
Damn it, Michael.
Okay.
Shoot.
Get you another and get ready.
You're going to have...
Ah, Steve got him another. He's a small one, but he bit. We'll get him back in the water and see if we can get another.
Yeah, he's running 90 miles an hour, Mike.
All right.
All right, Mike, got a good fish on here now, folks. Let's see where he's at. Don't want to, oh shoot, don't want to miss him with the dip net. Got a bait tangled up in the net. Bring him on, Mike. Whoa, dadgummit, don't, got him. All right. Yeah, good boy. Yeah, man, that's one of them nice, big, fat, nice slickins right there, Mike.
Yeah. He sure is.
Hold it.
I must have struck a nerve.
Yeah, I believe you did. There he is.
You got another bait tangled.
I know it. I don't know how that bait got tangled up in the net, but it did. We get your fish off, and then we'll get the bait out.
Get through his mouth there. He's
closed mouth now.
Yeah.
There he is. Yeah.
My bait's out. Shore bait's.
Yeah.
It's hung in the fish too.
Mike, you caught that fish on a dang spinner bait. What are you doing throwing a spinner bait?
I don't know.
Boy, that's a good one there.
Yeah. It's a nice
All right, get him back in the water. Let's get another.
Go.
Get my bait out of that dip net. Might need it again.
Yeah. That's right. All right, Steve got him another. Nice little smallie there.
Yeah, buddy, Mike.
All right.
He ain't great big, but we'll take him.
We'll put him back.
All right. Get the camera recording. There we go. All right, folks. Wes got our first fish right here. Whoa, Wes, them things wilder than a buck, ain't they? Yeah. Whoa, now bring him up here. I got him in, bud. Good job. All right. Okay, Wes. Good deal. Good deal. That ought to be the color. Got you tangled up, ain't it?
Yeah.
All right, folks, listen. It's Wednesday night, here about 10:30, I guess. I got off work tomorrow, and Wes and I came up here on north, and after church there, and he's got our first bite here, first fish. Had a couple of little bumps, but that's the first fish we got. Yeah, he turned all kinds of somersaults, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Before we got him in and got the camera going. Remember our sponsors, folks.
Dang.
Let's Go Fishing, and that road, they've paved the road. We told that the other week, and got the yellow lines, white lines on it. Looks really nice coming in here to Point 19. All right, we'll get this one off, try to get another.
All right. Papa's got another. It's been a long time without one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Lens is fogged up. I can't get it right now.
Got him. Good deal. Good deal. Buddy, I'll tell you what. The bite has been slow. That's a pretty good fish right there, though. We'll take care. Wished we could get a dozen of them.
Yeah.
Sure do. See if I can get that hook out of him there. Alrighty. Well, it come loose, but it didn't come out. Let's see, buddy. What the devil? What happened to something gun with? It just keeps falling on down in there. Give me them needle over. I can't get a.
All right, watch your carpet there.
Get a hold of it. Heck, why didn't you tell?
What's this? What's that saying?
Well, shoot. It's right there. Dadgummit. Shoot. Where are you at? Dad blame it. Son of a gun. Why didn't you?
All right, well, let's get him off there.
Oh, man.
All right, I was trying on my bait, and after I got him another, and you woke up the beast, didn't you?
Yeah, buddy. I believe that's a pretty good fish right there.
Maybe it is too.
I hope we can get him in the net. Oh, yeah. All right.
Oh, there he goes.
There he goes.
All right, let's get another.
All right, we're back. Dylan, before we get back to discussing the fishing film, we got a caller here. Go ahead, caller, and tell us what your problem is. We hope to. Hadn't heard anybody say, but we'll have it checked out and see if we can get something going for you. Okay.
Okay, hon. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye. All right. Okay, Dylan. I guess you got a copy of that. All righty. Good deal. And anyway, we try to take care of that issue. If there's something here on the studio, we can do for sure. Bill. We showed some of that film that we didn't show last week with Mike and I up there on North, and we was catching them fish out there, and like I said, 15, 18 foot, and now they're in there in that 2 foot, 5 foot of water.
Yeah.
So, and the water temperature dropped about 3 degrees. I think it's 71 there last night.
Right. And the minnows is coming up on top.
Yeah.
And they're getting ready to move in the creeks.
Yeah. A lot of suspended fish on the depth finder last night, and that's another thing. When them suckers ain't down there on the bottom, you can't catch them.
It's hard to catch them. It sure is, old buddy.
It definitely is. They didn't want a spinner bait. They didn't want the jig. What we caught on was a little peanut jig right up on the bank, and they just didn't want to cooperate very well last night, just tell you the truth about it. And and then, like I said, I think the fog had a lot to do with it. It got there for little bit. You couldn't hardly see the bank.
Right.
And then it just all of a sudden it had that big. It just all lifted up off the water and was up in a big fog bank there above the tree line and stuff, and that's when we got a few bites that we got. So that was pretty much the deal on that situation. And I know you've seen that before.
I so have, son. Many times. I tell you what, I'll be as honest I be with you. I've never really done real good when the fog was on the water.
Yeah.
It changes the light color. The light. And the water and everything, it changes. And I've never really done it. And I've fished all night in it.
Yeah.
Many nights. And I know when me and Max was fishing over there, when he used to come up here and fish Norris and Dale Hollow both, when that fog come in, we'd be catching the far out of them before it come in.
Yeah.
And that fog come in, son, it changed the light of the water and the bait and everything else. And them fish just quit. They wouldn't do hardly anything.
Right.
So I don't know. Other people might have different ideas on it, but I never really done too good in the fog myself. I never have.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I've been lost a lot in it up there.
yeah. Me and you both.
Yeah. That's probably why we did. I know one time Mike and I, one night we was up there and I went back to the same spot. A guy had pulled his houseboat up on Dollar Island there. And we left that. We was fishing around Dollar Island, and there we could make out the houseboat. And, and we fished right on by it, and we got ready to go across the lake. And anyway, I'll tell you that when I get this rest of that story, when I get this call here. Oh. Hello, caller. Well, for some reason or another, we're not getting anything, Dylan. There we go. Hello, caller. Is it for me? Hello, caller. Hello. All right, I guess not. We'll see. Maybe they'll call back here in a minute. Yeah. All righty. Call back. But anyway, we got messed up there at Dollar Island, and I told Mike, I said, let's go over and fish that point across the lake. And I started idling off over through there, buddy, and idle. Next thing I know, I could see the tree line and what have you,
Yeah.
Got over there, and that gun was right back to where we started.
That's right.
So I took off again, done the same thing. And so the third time, that's when I learned you can't let that motor out. You go around in a circle.
I never will forget. I think about this often when I'm in the fog. It was the day that deer season opened, and this old boy, he was in a pontoon boat, and I had my lights on and everything. And buddy, he couldn't see. I don't see how he ever seen the front end of that pontoon boat. But he was a coming down the lake and he was running in 3 or 4 foot of water. I don't know how he ever made it. And he seen my lights and he said, "Could you tell me where the bank is?" And I said, "You're going right towards it." I said, "You need to slow down a little bit."
Yeah.
Buddy, he said, I'm a got to get in them woods. He said, "I'm a deer hunting." Man, I'm telling you the truth. He parked that pontoon boat on the bank, and away he went. How he ever got to where he was at, I'll never know.
I hear you. I hear you. But that's a fact. That fog really does play a big role in what's going on, and so I finally got Mike across the lake. But I said, after that second time back to the same place, I said, "Sit down."
Yeah.
"What are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to show you." And I put her on the plane, and it went right straight over there. And when the depth finder started coming up, I knew just exactly where we was at, and we was headed right where we wanted to go.
With these new depth finders
Oh,
and everything, son,
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about the fog anymore.
no.
So you can just lay a trail and
Go on.
follow that trail right back, old buddy.
That's right. That's exactly right. Ain't no two ways about it. This GPS has changed all that.
Yes, sir. It sure has.
Yeah. So anyway, Mike, you've got us some baits there you want to show. What's the story on all this you got laid up here?
Well, I wanted to start off talking about different types of top water plugs. And, of course, you got one like the Spook. It's just, we used to turn these on the lathe. Remember Dad bought a lathe?
Oh, yeah.
And we'd turn them things out of different types of wood, mostly cedar.
Yes, sir.
And then spray a dang coat of paint on it and drop it down in a tub of water and let it roll around till the heavy side got to the bottom, and then we'd mark the top of it and and everything on it, and then paint them rascals up.
Yeah.
And he made some big long ones out there.
Yeah.
That's foot long, like a big devil's horse stuff.
Yeah.
He made all kinds of things. We like to make them out of that cedar. But the trick to these plugs here is where you put the eye in the nose of it.
Yeah.
See? And that what makes it, as they say, walk the dog.
Walk the dog. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
And they got a little weight in the back of it, and there's several different ways they put the hooks on them, where you use the little bracket with the little screws to hold it on, or whether you got an eye screw that screws in there.
Yeah.
And put it on there. But this is one of Dad's favorite plugs here that he always
right
throws.
there is his.
With the
That plug right there was his
job,
favorite.
Yes, sir.
the Nippy-Dee-Dee.
Nippy-Dee-Dee.
Yeah. The boy said Dad's got old Matic eye out again because he had one that had one of the eyes knocked off of it.
Yeah.
He caught a lot of fish on that thing too.
Yeah.
But you can see that it's got the eye screws in it
Mm-hmm.
and everything on it. But I'm not sure the same company making these now that used to make them back in the 60s and 70s. I heard that this other outfit is making them now. Classic wood.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because they're a little bit different right there. They got a little hole kind of half drilled in there with that little cup in it there to screw that down on there.
Yeah. The old Nippy-Dee-Dees had the hook retainer like that Spook's got on it. Yeah, sure did.
Right.
Now they've got the screw eyes in the bottom of it, and that kind of thing. But yeah, them's dandies.
But the spinner was the biggest thing about these plugs because it had like a bushing in the center of it, where most of the others just had a flat piece of metal there with a couple of little like washers, one on each side.
Really, that Nippy-Dee-Dee there is what brought on the top water bait. That little big, what do you call it?
Buzz bait.
Buzz bait.
Yeah.
That Nippy-Dee-Dee is what brought that buzz bait on.
Yeah.
That thing was used as a buzz bait.
Yeah, you winder fast.
When I was fishing with your dad, I was fishing a spinner bait and he was fishing that.
Yeah.
And son, we was tough to handle.
And the other plug, like my grandpa, Charlie, he wore out a wash tub full of them chuggers.
Yeah.
And the pawpaw was awful good because it's got the curved mouth in it and stuff there and catches that water. spits it out and stuff. And them chuggers, man, it was a black chugger every time Papa went to the lake.
Yeah.
He had a black chugger on.
Yeah, he sure
Didn't make
did.
no difference when it was.
Yeah.
He always had a black chugger tank
Yeah,
on.
that's right.
Yes,
And they got a lot of different sizes in these top water plugs, and a lot of different colors in them. And nowadays the paint jobs is completely different
Oh,
from
it's
what it
so
used
hard,
to be.
son. Yeah.
When we got to making top water, then we got to fooling with Fred Young and started trying to copy some of his plugs. Whittled them ourselves out of dang balsa wood. We tried cedar,
Yeah.
all kinds of different things. And this is some of the plugs that I've collected over the years. It's made by Fred Young. All three of them is big O's. I keep them in my little box. I don't let them get out too much. And this is one that a fellow by the name of Ernie Randolph give me, because he's all the time throwing his little Rapala, and Fred made that for him.
Yeah, it sure did, old
And
buddy.
if you look at these paint jobs, you see mostly all of them, I think, was done with a spray can.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't have no fancy paint
No, he
stuff
didn't
like
have
they
no
got
fancy
today.
spray.
You know, you'd
Done with
paint
it
it
just-
solid white, and then you'd come back if you wanted something different on the sides. He'd spray it with a spray can and
Yeah.
back off from it, and then splatter the back of it, or put a darker back on it and stuff. But everything was done. He'd come in and dot the I's with a stick or something, a little bit of paint on it, put it in there.
Yeah.
And these balsa plugs, when we made them,
Let's take this call, Mike.
Okay.
And, hello, caller.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Tony, I know that was you. Get his picture up there. Would you dealing? Mike, just turn your head around. You don't need to see this.
I know.
Yeah, he don't need to see that.
He don't need to see this. No, we don't want him to see it. Close your eyes, Mike. Cover your face. Cover your eyes.
Oh man, look at
I want
that.
you looking there. Dadgummit.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm telling you the truth, Tony. You're doing well, son. You make my mouth water every time I see them.
Oh,
If you're there tonight, Mike's fishing out.
yeah, huh? Uh-oh. Well, you should.
I'm taking my minnow bucket to work, and I'm gonna get me some minnows before they all get bought up, because they see that picture, they'll all be down there after them.
Hey, Lord, I know. Sooner or later, you just show too many, and that'd be it.
But the trouble is, we had 22 catfish go with them.
Oh,
Oh
Lordy,
man.
Yeah.
son of a gun. Well, Al, you need to find somebody that wants them cats, Tony. You and
I
Mike,
found somebody that does.
huh?
I found somebody that does. I'll give them some start this weekend.
Good.
That's
That's
good.
good.
That's
That's
good.
good. Yeah, we need to thin them out. There's plenty of them, ain't there?
There they are.
Yeah, son of a gun. That's how many crappie you had in that picture?
There's 18.
18? Man, that sounds good. I told a guy the other day, I run into a guy and I was telling him you'd caught some the week before down there up in Angler's Cove there, and they're fairly shallow, a lot of them around brush.
That's
Yeah.
up Stamp Creek.
Stamp Creek, okay. And
That's all I say.
anyway, where'd them come from?
Rockwood Holler down there.
Well, good. Was they real deep?
About 15 to 17 foot.
Well, that means they're coming up.
Yeah.
They're
so
coming up. There ain't no two ways about it.
Yeah.
They definitely are. That sounds good. Man, that has a nice bag of fish.
I think.
That's
Sure
super.
was.
That's super.
Yeah,
That's
buddy.
Bill back there.
Huh?
I'm glad to see Bill's back there.
Yeah, me and you both, buddy.
I'm tickled to be back, Tony. I'm not full charged yet, but I'm getting that way, son. I'm just about 2 weeks away.
That's good. Glad to have you back.
All right, buddy.
Appreciate
Good.
it.
Yeah, thank you for that. We're glad to have him back too, Tony. We really are, man.
You just keep Mike up on north, so I'm gonna go crappie fishing again this week.
Yeah.
I don't know. I tell you, I swear, I believe he's about to break bad on us. Yeah, he's gonna have that minnow bucket. I guarantee you, it's about over.
I'll tell you one thing, Tony. If he goes for that minnow bucket and he starts to watch the bar, he better find room for me. For I like him our crappie too well myself, so he needs to make room for me.
Hey, buddy, we appreciate you sending us them pictures and keep catching them, will you?
I will see you later.
All right, Tony. Thank you, buddy. Bye.
One of the boys at work went last Sunday, and he caught several crappie, but he's up in Emory. He said 8 or 10 foot deep.
Yeah. Well, that don't.
They still coming up there too.
Yeah, that don't surprise me none,
Yeah.
Mike. It really don't. Dylan, don't you have a little surprise for Mike here? Let's see what it is. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I hadn't seen that.
You hadn't seen. Okay. You got another one?
Yeah.
Let's see it too. There's the one I was wanting to see right there.
Got her eyes open now.
Yes, sir. All right, now, Mike, tell us about the baby.
Well, that's my great granddaughter.
That's your great granddaughter, folks. Mike had that. She was born today, this morning, sometime.
That's great. That's great,
About
son.
one or two
Was it
o'clock.
1 or 2 o'clock? I know she had to be there early.
Congratulations there, old boy.
Congratulations, Mike. That's his first great grandbaby, and her and her mama are doing good.
Yeah.
That's great. That's
His name's
great.
Violet.
Violet, okay, good.
Yeah.
That'll be good. Maybe Violet will be a big fisherman.
I think so. You know. Probably will.
Yes, sir.
She's got the blame for everything at the house every time I said, who done this or who done that, what happened? Violet did it, that's it. I wasn't going to do nothing about it then.
Yeah.
All right, congratulations, Mike. Yes, sir. Also, too, want to say happy birthday to my son-in-law, Eric Schaefer. His birthday was today.
Good. Happy
Yeah.
birthday,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yes, sir. That's Wesley's dad, and say happy birthday to him. All right, Mike, I wanted you to see the picture. Now, tell us, go back to that big over there one more time.
Well, see, they're making one out of wood, but I'm not sure whether they're balsa wood. Bagley's used to make all theirs out of balsa wood. Of course, that's what Fred used. And that was a trick to making them things out of balsam wood, because trying to get something to hold up the hooks and the wire. So he had the deal where he'd drill a hole through the bill of it and cut the slot in it and put the little weight in the bottom of it and all that. But that getting that wire and wrapping it to make the eye to pull it with, and then cutting that groove all the way around the plug, come down and make another little circle there for your hook to hang on, and then one around the back, and then bring it up and then poke them into the back there, and then take wood filler and fill that groove up all the way around them. And it'd make it strong enough that you could hold on to them. And now some of them that's got busted up, and you could see the wire, nothing left but the wire, wasn't it, Bill?
Yeah, I got one that he did with me. He done it 3 times, and after he done it 3 times, I retired it. I still got it. It's the first one that he ever made.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I mean, it was something to see how he made them and stuff, and how he painted them and everything, you know. And back then, if you wanted a bait, more or less the same way with our jigs or anything else, we didn't hardly find anything we wanted at the store. We had to make them, and that's the reason you got so many baits now. It's because people made them and learned how to do it and found out what they'd do and everything, and then put them in production and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Put them on the market. But, these worms and stuff, hardly anybody had a worm back in the 60s. If it was an old hard cream worm, they called it.
Yeah.
Had 2 or 3 little wee tiny hooks sticking out of it. It wasn't big enough for nothing. And then,
A lot of fish caught on them, old Mike. A lot of fish caught
had
on
a
them.
couple little spinners or a bead or something on
yes,
it.
sir.
Then when Tom Mann come up with that jelly worm, that was an explosion there. I mean,
Sure
everybody
was.
got to
Yeah.
throwing them worms.
Yeah, that old cream pre-rigged worm, buddy. My grandmother and grandpa, they never went to the lake without wanting them things tied
That's
on.
exactly right.
I mean, you just throw them out there and wind them and catch fish on them. I
You
mean,
know, cream was the first worm that came out.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the hook sticking out of it, you wouldn't catch a fish because it was as hard as a rubber.
Yeah, that's right. It was.
Yeah.
It was like it was hard plastic or rubber. It sure was, Mike. But they a lot of fish caught on them things. And like you said, Bill, when Tom Mann come in with that jelly worm, it was all over.
Yeah.
Good and soft, and you Texas rig that thing and jerk, set the hook and catch a fish on it. I mean,
Sure was. Yeah,
I
look,
remember, you
look
remember
where we're at
Mom was
now.
over there catching them. She bought a pack of them. Was over on Milton Hill there, and we was paddling them around and stuff.
Yeah.
And she was catching fish, and Dad was throwing that top water plug, and he couldn't believe it. Ain't no way them fish are getting that crazy.
Yeah, that's a fact. Sure was. Let's see, a couple of other things here I wanted to mention while we had everybody here. Let's see. Bill, what was that information about bass moving into Knoxville? BASS?
Well, that was what I read in the paper. It was in the New Sentinel just here recently. And I've got a new phone coming. I should have it tomorrow. And the only reason that I'm waiting to call him is I need that new phone. I need to make sure I can hear everything.
Mm-hmm.
But my friend Jerry McKinnis that lives in Arkansas, I'm going to call him and find out what the deal is. Jerry and two other fellows was one that owned BASS.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard that they have sold it, and the people that's bought it, and I've heard of this outfit before in Knoxville, and they have bought BASS, and they're moving it to Knoxville, and the reason that I understand what the paper stated and everything is because of the lakes that we have.
Yeah.
And they be having a lot more tournaments here on our lakes. Of course, they'll be having them everywhere else too.
Right.
But it'll be more right here in East Tennessee too.
Right. They really have. Well, there for a long time. When bass first got started, one of the first years they were there, they were at Watts Bar back in 72.
Yeah, around 71, 72, somewhere along there.
Yeah, and anyway, then they just kind of dabbled around here off and on, and so we went for a long time. And then when Chickamauga got hot,
Yeah.
the last few years, while they've had a couple down there, and this
Gunnersville and all them,
So yeah, it's the Tennessee chain has got back more on their schedule.
That's
now.
right. Yeah, yeah.
It seems
And
like.
if you think about it, right here in the Knoxville area, man, we got lots of water.
Yeah.
Got lots of water, lots of good lakes.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't know everything, but it was in the New Sentinel just recently.
Yeah.
In fact, about this past week, I guess it was, or the end of last week one.
Yeah.
And I read it where they
I wished I'd have got a hold of it. Yeah, I wished I'd have got a hold of that article. But we've had the good tournament they had. That Elite Series was on Cherokee back in this past winter, early spring, and so on and so forth. And then they've always had a Douglas deal. They fished a couple of tournaments on Douglas in the past and that kind of thing. So. You and I all know, and Mike, that we've got good lakes and plenty of water.
Yeah, we sure have, old buddy. Yes, sir.
We're blessed right here in the valley.
They some of them have really come on.
Yeah.
You take Norris. Everybody was always scared of Norris.
Yeah.
Because it was so clear and everything. They didn't want to fish it because the fish weren't there as much as they are today.
Yeah.
And they so much come out, much new stuff has come out, and now then Norris is one of the favorite lakes now.
Yeah.
And man, they catch some good fish.
Well, the technology changed to put us to where we could catch them.
That's right.
The clear lines, the electronics, fishing, find them on the electronics, fishing out there.
That's right.
And that kind of thing. It's all come to play. It's played a part in improving the fishing up there on North.
Right.
Yeah, sure has.
You've got different types of lakes right here in this area.
Oh, yeah.
You go to North and it's deep and clear, and then you go down to Watch Bar or Chickamauga or something, and the water changes and the depth stuff changes, and everything's different. Where a lot of the other lakes, if you go to Florida, pretty much every one of them's the same.
Yeah.
In there and stuff. You ain't got a big deep lake like North or Cherokee or Douglas.
Yeah.
They do.
Full shoals out there in Arkansas, and I reckon it's a big and clear.
Yeah,
type
and
lake.
you take right here just recently, they've had some good tournaments right here on Cherokee.
Oh yes, sir.
Yeah, been
Yeah.
dandies.
Sure have.
FLW up north here a few months back.
Huh?
Wasn't that the FLW? It was up north a few months back or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was that. Yeah, it sure was. That was back in, was it May, April?
Somewhere
May,
along in
sometime.
that area,
We went
yeah.
to Bill and I went that Friday to
Yeah,
the
we
weigh-in.
went there. Yeah.
Yeah, sure did. But anyway, the fish, you know, and our local fishermen know that these fisheries we got right here.
I may still have that article, Steve. It came out in the New Sentinel, and I'll dig through it. You know, I never thought a whole lot about it when I was reading it. For, like I said, some of it I remembered from way back, and then some of it I didn't remember, and so it wasn't that important to me till I found out that what was happening. That Jerry, my friend Jerry McKinnis, that lives in Arkansas, that was one of the owners of BASS. After I found out that he sort of retired and moved back to Arkansas, and then that got to dawn on me. Well, they must have sold it, you know. So that's what I understand that they have.
Yeah. Well, that was another thing. You mentioned the article there. We had an article about you, interview, and I forgot what it was, and I have misplaced it, and I've been waiting on the opportunity. It talked about you being on the power pole and running into Fred Young before the first time. Mike Bolden was I think giving you and Mike were giving the interview to the reporter that was writing it, and I had that thing.
I was running cable trouble.
That's right.
And
That's
it had come a bad storm
Yeah.
the day before and the night, and the next morning I was running cable trouble in a lead cable, and I had to carry a ladder in behind Fred Young's house now, and I didn't even know who lived there, but his wife brought him out and set him down in the sun there where it was fairly warm. I mean, the storm that we had was in the afternoon, and it was still warm and everything when we had it. And I was running that cable trouble, and I had it set up in a ladder sling up there. And he came out there, and I watched him pretty close. I wasn't 30, 40 feet from him, and he was a whittling. I thought to myself, I don't boys whittling a fishing plug. And he was whittling a good one too, son. And when I got through, I went up there and introduced myself, son. This was back in the late '60s.
Yeah.
And I looked at that fishing plug, and man, I thought to myself, can't beat this right here. I said, when are you going to perfect this thing? He said, I'm trying to right now. I said, you don't mind if I help you, do you? But I did. I did help him. When he dropped this here, you see how straight that is right there?
Yeah.
And this one right here, see how straight they are? Okay, look at that there, how he dropped the belly of that right there.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, you got a real plug right there now, son. If it runs as well as the old ones does, I said, we'll try it. Yeah. And we did, and that's the one we settled on. I had the stamp made for him, BIG-O, and I'll be as honest, a lot of people that called me over these big O's and said they had all kinds of them. I said, what's it got under the lip? And they said, it don't have anything. And I said, well, you ain't got no big O then. He said, well, how you know I ain't? I said, every plug that he made, it either the first one that he tried out, he had it B-O. Then the next one, he had a B plus O. And the next one was BIG-O. Okay, what that B plus O and B minus O meant, that was the size weight that it had in it. And when we settled on it, we made the BIG-O, and it had the same weight in it as a B plus O.
Yeah.
And
B plus O.
Yeah.
know.
So I know I had the stamp made for him in
Yeah.
Anderson, Indiana.
Yeah.
A friend of mine made the stamp, and I got the circuit board from Morristown
Yeah.
and sent it up there, and that old boy stamped every lip out of every one of them was perfect.
Yeah.
That their lip was perfect every time, for they stamped them out.
Yeah.
Now the ones that Fred made
To
to start with,
Yeah.
he cut them out himself,
Right. I
and
understand.
some of them would run and some of them wouldn't.
Yeah.
But when they come out, when I had the stamp made,
Yeah.
every one of them was the same.
Yeah.
Every one
Oh,
of
yeah.
them was the same. And it run, and I told him, I said, we done give this thing $1 million worth of advertising. I said, what are you going to do with it? He says, I don't know, Bill. He said, what do you think we ought to do? I said, we ought to let somebody have it and make it. I called, at that time, Cotton Cordell was one of my best friends. Him and Bobby Murray, we opened a sporting goods store in Anderson, Indiana, called Killbuck Sporting Good. And I met them up there. They flew up there. I drove up there myself. And they flew up there and bought a plane load of fishing tackle. And we were there for 3 days. And the people cleaned the walls. There wasn't nothing left. And that's when I met Cotton, and they became a real good friend. And today, Bobby Murray and Billy Murray, the two twins, they worked for Rebel for many years, and they were my super friends. But anyway, they still are. And Cotton, he passed away, but he made that big old farm, and Fred made a pretty good fortune off of it.
Yeah. There you go,
They
folks.
said, how much you get out of it? I said, I got 2 or 3 good fishing trips. I didn't want anything. All I was interested in is catching that fish.
I heard that,
Yeah,
Bill.
yeah, got
I
some
heard that.
good plugs, some good,
Yes, sir.
a lot of good fish. Ain't
Yes,
no
sir.
doubt about it.
Sure have. I know. Shucks. That was the stature. That was the stature of your fishing ability around this parts at that time, back in the late '60s, early '70s. Of how many egg cartons you had in your boat, and them egg cartons wasn't to carry eggs in; they had them
That's right.
plugs in them right there.
That's
Sure did. I'm telling you. Yeah, it was something else. My mom saved egg cartons for a long time.
Yeah.
And Dad would give them to you, and send them over to Fred Young, put them plugs in.
Yeah,
You know,
that's right.
that's what it was all about.
Yeah.
And 6 plugs to the box.
Yep, that's right.
Yes, sir.
I shipped a many of them for him all over the country, son.
Yes, sir. That was the
I
deal.
even got letters, and I've got them to the house right now. I got letters from people. I even got one letter from overseas to the fishermen in Clinton, Tennessee, and they delivered that letter to me.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
When you look at the bills, it was hand carved out. This is longer and more rounded.
Yeah.
And this is more flatter on the front.
Yeah.
Until they got that stamp on there. But it's,
Yeah.
Right.
it's all by eyeball.
Okay.
You see some of them, it was thicker than others. And
Oh, yeah.
everything, you know, and you buy that 2-inch by 2-inch balsa
Yeah.
wood and go to Whitland.
Yeah. But when we need to settle on this, when we settle on this right here,
Yes, sir.
every one of them was the same. Every one of them was the same, man. Yes, sir.
Okay, folks, I'm going to mention the sponsors here. Can't thank those fine people enough. Listen, Mercury's got, and you all seen the advertisements, Mercury for repair it this month. They got some special pricing that they've passed down to the dealers. You know, if you get a new engine, they got like free installation, you know, and that kind of thing. If you're taking a Mercury off and you're putting one on, it's pretty much, that's about a $1,500 bill to mount and do all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And they've done away, you know, that don't cost you a thing now for to take yours off and put a new engine on. Got some special pricing going on through Mercury, passed along to the dealers and all that kind of stuff. So, my engine's got about 178 hours on it, and it's such a good deal. I'm thinking about going ahead. My warranty's good till 2015, 27. Let's see, be 2020, mine's good for. So I got 3 more years. I'm thinking about doing it again. Just to,
Yeah.
because it's a good deal. But anyway, do that, and also too, they got several of those new express boats in this past week down at Reynolds Racing and Marine. Make sure you give them a call. Go by there, look them over, check them out, ask them about the pricing on this repair for your Mercury engine down there. They'd be more than glad to help you. Tim's Tires. I'm looking at a set of tires for my wife's car right now. So if you're, you want to get every mile out of them you can, Bill, but you don't want to put your family in any danger whatsoever with some slick tires or what have you. We know. What do you say, Dylan? Okay, if you need some tires, let's get them before bad weather sets in, and
it's going to set in here before long.
It's going to set in here before long, Bill. We know it's coming. We know it's coming.
Exactly right.
So anyway, check Tim's Tires out, folks. You can't beat them. They do front end alignments down there. They got road service. They got brakes. If you need brakes put on, they can do that right there too. So give them a call down there, and like I said, the new numbers on the screen that you're looking at rings directly to Kevin Ward's phone, so you can call the girls there in the office, or you can call Kevin's number right there and get a hold of them and get service real quick. Citizens First Bank, can't thank those folks enough. Billy Rice and his great group of people, the 5 locations and all that, can't thank them enough. Also, we got Edgemore Outdoors up here. They just wonderful people. You know that. Got the best bait shop we got around, Bill.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Ain't no doubt about it. So remember all of our sponsors, folks, in the candy store down in Oliver Springs, Pamela Ann's Candies, Fudge, and Gifts. Just check it out. I mean, they're selling that stuff all over the country right now, and I go through there at 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't know how long they've been there already, but the lights is on and everything's cooking, and so they when they come home at 5 o'clock and they're still doing the same thing. Yeah. So check those people out. Can't thank Ed and Pamela enough for sponsoring here in the show. All righty. Next week, thank you, Dylan. Remember, folks, we will be on at 7 o'clock instead of 8, then the following week back at regular time. And remember the auction to follow the show next week here at the studio. October Sky Festival there in Oliver Springs going on this weekend. Remember that. We got the 2 fishing tournaments, the Norse Craft tournament at Anderson County Park Saturday, and then on November the 4th, the benefit tournament for...
I want to thank everybody for thinking about me.
There you go.
And during this year knee operation, I had one done in 2010, and I got over it pretty well. This one here has given me a little bit more trouble, but I'm 7 years older than I was in 2010, and I wouldn't have never had this done, but I couldn't already get out of a chair or anything. It hurt so bad, so I had to have, but I want to thank everybody for thinking about me.
All right, Bill, we're glad to have you with us, folks. We got 30 seconds. God bless you all. See you next week.
I hope another week.
Hey, folks, I'm back here at Tim's Tires, and you saw the intro on the door, and they are also open on Saturdays from 8 to 12:30. And I'm just looking at these tires. They've got lawnmower tires, they've got the small tractor tires, even the big tractor tires, and all these tires right here are for trucks and automobiles, vans, that kind of thing. And they've just got a warehouse full of tires, bringing them in all the time and shipping them out all the time. So if you're needing that set of tires, please come by here at Tim's Tires, Highway 27, going into Harriman. on the left. It'll be on the right if you're coming from Harriman. And like I said, this place is just stacked full of tires, brands, all kinds, sizes, all kinds. And if they just happen not to have the size or kind you're wanting and the size, just give them a call down here and they'll have it for you, usually by the next day and sometimes by dinner time that day. So remember Tim's Tires and let them know you appreciate them being a sponsor of the Let's Go Fishing Show.